definitely make out with that
bang
guy.
the shit out of him.
I would go down on him. Yes, of course.
Going over to Group 4. Hero 5-0-10-1. Wow, it's just in the group of death there.
Yep.
Just making it look easy.
Cut through like butter.
Yeah. Butter.
Thorzane making out as number 2. You can see that green thing on him. We are very happy. I will say that right now. Evil Genius is proud of this guy. When we looked at this group, understandably, we went, okay, Hero, Naniwa, oh my god, Rhett, ForGG. Even ForGG as a TVT specialist, Thorzane was able to rise above. So very proud of the hometown Hero. He never disappoints in Sweden. Can we say that? Like, think about the tournaments this guy's won. What has he won outside of Sweden in terms of tournaments?
TSL.
Yeah.
But that was online, doesn't count.
Yeah, he played most of that in Sweden anyways, actually.
But yeah,
third spot, Naniwa surging back. Rhett still with life. I mean, there's actually nobody red in this group. I mean, okay. NightEnd, we kind of do the same thing we do with Bishu, where we're like,
yeah, he kind of has
probably
2-0.
He's about 1 game away from red. ForGG, does he turn on that Korean anger where he's like, you've angered my what the F did Parting say? My professional gaming spirit. This is like some weird extraterrestrial being that lives inside of Korean players that gets angered when they start losing or hear things weird.
And look at all that money they're playing for too. It's a lot of money.
Wait a second.
$82,000 in this tournament.
Did this guy just break away from our conversation to just randomly show us the prize money?
Yeah.
Adabisi, your ego knows no... No! Close that! Oh, that's a good picture, actually. A handsome young man.
You are quite a handsome young man.
Thank you.
My god. You almost look like Monchi there.
I actually had a mustache in that tournament.
But
look at this guy, just going crazy.
I know, just does whatever he wants. But that's kind of our update done, I suppose. Our next game, as mentioned, is going to be NightEnd versus ForGG. And that group, we've already talked about NightEnd being 0-2-0-4. If he loses even a map here, he's pretty much out of the tournament. It's going to be very, very difficult to climb back from that.
Loser, that's eliminated, actually. I mean, look at it. They're both at 5 and 6.
Yeah, that's true,
I think NightEnd drops a map, he's out of it. But I think for ForGG, it might be the same if he drops a map, actually. So that's about as close as it gets. And actually, just as a fan of StarCraft, I'm excited to see ForGG, who does weird, aggressive stuff, and is also one of the only players that will actually go 4 command centers off of 1 barracks. 4
I think I've seen that.
Command centers. That's actually, that should be illegal.
Yeah.
And does NightEnd kind of show us what he's got? I mean, we're happy that Thorzane won, but on the flip side, as a fan of NightEnd, I didn't get to see NightEnd, I didn't think. Not really.
No.
He just kind of died to 2 attacks.
Yeah. I mean, but we will, as you said, get to see him against ForGG. But ForGG is so much more dangerous than Thorzane will ever be. Thorzane is, I mean, and I say that, but I mean it in the early stages. I think it's very difficult to play against ForGG than it is Thorzane. Of course, NightEnd was able to go for a 3rd Nexus. That will never be the case against ForGG, I don't think, here. ForGG is a guy that will barracks, supply depot, wall off in.
Yep.
He will make you guess what he's doing. You'd have to play very defensive. So it's a completely different game that NightEnd has to play against ForGG. And it's definitely going to be a difficult one. Like I said before, we are going to have 5 best-of-3s on this stream. We've already had 2. NightEnd ForGG is going to be the 3rd one. Going after that, we will have Bishu versus Monchi to determine if Bishu's going home and Monchi's going through, as mentioned earlier. And then finally, we'll have NightEnd versus Rhett to determine if Rhett can make his way through as well. And then after those games are finished, there'll be an hour's dinner's break. And then we'll be getting ready for the round of 12.
Round of 12, and we're going to play 2 on this stream and then 2 on the second stream as well.
Yep.
And then that's it for the night, and then tomorrow we'll wrap it all up.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting.
And tomorrow we start from the quarterfinals. I'm not exactly sure of how it's set up with the quarterfinals because there's not really that many games to do tomorrow.
Best of 5s.
Yeah, best of 5s doesn't make it longer. Even today's games are best of 5s as well. When we hit the round of 12. The semifinals upwards, for anybody that's seen any of the Dreamhack shows before, is a show.
Yes.
It'll be in the same arena that the Dreamhack Winter Where Hero won last year is going to be. So it's definitely going to be great. Bitterdam will be doing 2 semifinals, then we will do the finals if my voice hangs on, which it should be able to at the moment. It is maintaining a consistent level.
You're doing well, my friend.
It is going okay. And talking about my voice, well, we've got a bit of time to kill rather than go to commercial break. I did everything possible to get my voice back.
I've heard this story. Yeah.
So yesterday, as you saw on stream, it was up here, it was really good, it was really high, and then as the games went on, it just went down, and it was never stopping until it hit the bottom. And I couldn't speak, literally couldn't speak. So Adabisi obviously came on, And then I observed all the games. I hardly spoke to anybody. I was using thumbs up, thumbs down for yes and no.
They try to send you home, by the way. This is the unsung hero story that
Yes.
he can't tell, but I can.
Yeah,
They went up to him, the Swedes, and they said, "You're sick. Go home. It's fine. Come back healthy tomorrow." And Apollo said, "No, I will observe." And he did.
It is actually very tiring observing, because I actually
No.
was starting to fall asleep towards the end,
It
just
is
because
very
I was very
boring to
tired.
observe. Right, Adabisi?
Yeah, it comes out running, yeah. So to continue through that story, of course, I shut up for the entire day yesterday. I had nothing but hot water and honey. I had strepsils, a lot of strepsils. And then after the games finished, I literally got my bag and left to the hotel before I said bye and went. And last night, I got to my room, and I said, I hope my voice comes back tomorrow, because I would really like to talk. It is my job, and I do like this tournament, so I'd really like to talk. I went in to my room, I put the shower on, I left it on full temperature of hot for 10 minutes. I then stripped down, went into the shower, and sat in the corner for 10 minutes in a steamy room. Of course, get the steam in my body. The funny part is, after I had my shower, I have a scarf with me in Sweden, and I went to bed with a scarf on.
Dedication.
Went to bed with boxers and a scarf. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I actually woke up in the middle of the night going, my throat feels terrible. And I touched it, I'm like, oh yes, wearing a scarf. Because how often do you get out of bed wearing a scarf?
For me,
Not very often.
0 times in my entire existence.
0 times.
And ever since I started dressing myself, I've actually never worn a scarf, even during the waking day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wear them often because I'm cold all the time. And I also had strepsils in my mouth while I was sleeping. Because what happened is I put it on one side of my mouth, I fell asleep, and then I turn over and I get all the juices come down and swallow in it. It's great. Recommend it.
Just, you had medication in there, right?
And then I had another steamy shower this morning ready to go today. But we are almost ready for this game, guys. We are going to kick it to a quick commercial. I told my story. We've gone over the groups. And when we return, of course, we will be having NightEnd versus ForGG, so do not go anywhere.
Hello and welcome back to Dreamhack Winter 2012. I'm Jeff In Control Robinson, joined by Sean DiApollo Clark, and we want to thank you guys for tuning in. You can see the medicinal process that is the constant stream of tea, because it's British.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Would you like a cup of tea?
It's tea time.
Is it tea time?
Would you like a cup of tea?
Sure.
I've just poured myself a cup of tea.
Yeah, you just offered me something you can't actually give, can
If you have a cup, I will give you a cup of tea because
I don't have a cup.
my
Here.
cupboard.
No, that would be terrible. Anyways, we're about to see NightEnd against ForGG. Both these guys are playing for elimination. It's a very precarious position. I think NightEnd might be one game away from elimination. ForGG perhaps in the same boat. So both these players fighting for their tournament life. Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Cup of tea.
Yes, of course. And you know what? I almost have to give credit. I'm sure it goes back further than this, but for me, drinking tea to save your voice in casting is day 9.
Really?
He's the one that passed that on to me. He's the one that I really stressed that.
It is important.
I don't know who started that, but I mean someone long ago, I'm sure. Anyways,
Someone old.
thank you for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. One thing we'd like to remind you, if you are tweeting about this tournament, results, casting, players, whatever it is you're talking about, please do include the hashtag DHW12. That'll help it get this tournament trending in Sweden. But on the greater whole, it'll help this tournament get more exposure to people that perhaps otherwise wouldn't see this stuff. And of course, in doing so, you're sharing esports. I'm watching you actually fill that way up too much.
I made a mistake.
That is awesome. It actually has that weird thing that sometimes liquids will do where there's some kind of seal at the top of that, but it's clearly over the rim of that glass. There's no...
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah, well, there we go.
It's very hot.
Just dumped hot tea all over himself. Okay, let's introduce these players. Oh no. Battle.net wanted to introduce these players. Not you, Battle.net, it's my turn. The first map for this best of 3 will be Daybreak. And our combatants, the top right-hand side, the red Protoss. We just saw him do battle with Thorzane. It is the Romanian NightEnd from Team Fnatic. Wait a second. A couple things are going on here. My colors are wrong. Let me hit this handshake. Boom. Now we are correct. Also, the monitor is about to turn off, so if somebody in the production room can hear me, the monitor in front of us is about to turn off. Also, DiApollo is drinking like a dog. This cast is already descending into chaos. Lower left-hand side, the actual red player, excuse me, from Team Millennium, it is ForGG. And correct me if I'm wrong, Apollo, does ForGG still live in France at that Millennium house?
Pretty sure it does, sorry.
Okay,
I
cool.
was cleaning up tea. I'm pretty sure it does, yes.
I believe it's him and Dragon, Adele Scott.
Correction.
What's
Adele Scott lives with his girlfriend in Holland.
that? Oh, he did move in with her.
Yes, he
Okay.
did. He moved in with her. They have an apartment together.
Okay, and who else is there? Feast is not there, right?
Don't think so, no.
No.
I don't know who else is there. There's a couple of French guys, just
Yeah.
lower end French StarCraft 2 players.
Okay.
And then Millennium's actually quite a big organization. It's actually
That's
really
what I hear, in France especially.
Yeah. So they have a lot of staff there and so on. So
Very cool. Very, very cool. So you guys can kind of track his movement there, but ForGG, I mean, Sean, you're actually kind of the historian of the Dreamhack events. ForGG beating out Stefano and taking second to Mana.
that's right.
Big tournament.
Tasia comes to mind as well because Tasia's another guy that's beat Stefano a lot until recently. But ForGG has had a pretty good run in the Dreamhack tour so far. He was able to get direct seeding by being a finalist against Tasia in the Valencia finals.
Mana, wasn't it?
It was Tasia versus ForGG in Valencia.
Oh my gosh. Well, then he'd face Mana, though. Is that what I'm thinking?
I think he may have faced Mana in that tournament, yes. But
No.
what? It was the final.
I thought. Who did Mana beat to win his?
Mana played against Damaga in summer.
What tournament am I thinking?
Dreamhack summer. That's
No,
what
no.
Mana. Where did ForGG play Mana?
Mana just won a tournament recently.
Oh,
beating out-
ESWC.
God, thank you.
It's okay.
That was breaking my brain. I could have sworn that was Dreamhack.
I wasn't quite on your page there, but I am now.
There you are.
The FPS looks pretty.
All right, so I was just completely confusing tournaments.
Never mind. I was looking at the screen thinking the FPS was a bit low, but maybe it's just me. I'm crazy.
Look what ForGG is doing. So this is kind of interesting. It is a 1 rack 6 man 3 command center.
Yeah.
But he actually has the forward bunker anyways. And I'll tell you what, look what just happened. NightEnd gets past the bunker, and ladies and gentlemen, that is such a big deal. If there's a command center there, you know exactly what you're facing. With the forward bunker and no command center, ForGG has just pulled the sheepskin over the wolf's eyes. Whatever the hell that saying is, he's tricked him. He is tricked.
So how does NightEnd play from here?
Completely standard. He doesn't freak out at all.
He doesn't freak
but
out?
it could have been really cool if he did freak out. Wouldn't it have been cool?
Well,
I
it's
just
not
got the
just me.
robo.
Is it my eyes going crazy, or is the FPS low on that screen? Maybe you can't tell. I don't know on this one.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe you
I
can't
don't know.
see because
I'm actually blind anyway, so I
never mind.
really can't tell.
It just looks kind of shaky. But maybe it's just the screen. Yeah, it is. Okay, so IWC thinks so too. I don't know what's wrong with it. It seems shaky.
Okay.
We'll see as the game goes on. I
Getting
noticed when something went down, but never mind.
Getting a little bit more into what's happening here, though. NightEnd could have absolutely flipped out about that. I mean, how many times do you see that forward bunker as a cell
Yeah.
for one base all in, right? Or some kind of cheese?
Yeah.
In 4GG, like we were talking about, you had said yourself he's very dangerous in the early game. That's, of course, caster language for talking about a cheeser. 4GG is a cheeser, but he's not doing it. He's playing completely standard. In fact, he's playing super standard by having a 3rd command center this early on. It's heavy macro opening.
But NightEnd does know who 4GG is. They play a lot on the European ladder. They're both top-end Grandmaster League players. I'm sure NightEnd's, you know, he knows what 4GG is capable of mind games like this.
Yeah.
So he hasn't fallen victim to it.
Not at all. Nothing about his build shows any kind of I mean, I stopped myself because to say not any kind of reaction seems like almost mean and severe, but it is actually true. This is what NightEnd would do if he faced a command center or apparently a lack of a command center. He's like, oh, okay, well, I just kind of do the same thing.
Well, he now sees it and sees the 3rd command center too. So he knows what's going on. And to be honest, he doesn't really need that immortal. I'd cancel it if I was him. The immortal there, kind of a safety net, to be honest, against whatever 4GG could do. If he keeps it, then it's a bit of waste of money. I think that could be well thrown into, you know, Colossus and Thermal Lance immediately.
Yeah.
If he keeps it, I mean, it's not bad, but I would like the cutting corners play. I think that's a corner you can cut off that cake.
Yeah, it's interesting. Your analysis on that's spot on. I mean, one of the ways you kind of look at this immortal is, well, nothing else is coming off that robo, so why not? But to your point, if you can do faster Colossus range, which we can see here he's not doing because he is saving up for that 200-200, or perhaps he's doing no range like he did against Thorazine, because otherwise it's still the exact same. But
that makes a lot more sense if he doesn't get Thermal Lance. The immortal being there makes a lot more sense. But look at the way that 4GG's playing. Usually with this play, you see double engineering bay going down, and your money gets invested into that and an armory, but we actually see 4 extra barracks put down. So he's actually gone up to 8 barracks in 10 minutes. That's a lot of units.
That is a lot of barracks.
So if NightEnd doesn't correctly identify this, because he actually doesn't see it, he hasn't even seen the engineering bay.
This is like co-oping the 3 base all in from Protoss.
Look at that
Yeah,
FPS. What have you done out of BC? What have you been loading while we were on break? Something you've done has lowered the FPS, man. You've messed things up.
Single Colossus walks out to the middle of the map. 3rd base does go down for NightEnd as well, but I'll tell you what. If you saw 8 barracks, I don't know that you'd take a 3rd base.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you just add like 3 more gateways and try to do a 2-base crack at this, because on the one hand, if you're going to actually use 8 barracks, I don't know how many Vikings you can get out. He's going to try. He's got a Ghost Academy, too. He's doing everything. Oh, this is terrifying.
He's got a lot of money. 5 tech labs, 2 reactors. A heads up, Adabisi, is that you're not lagging the game, so don't worry. The FPS is actually fine on our PCs. Yeah, players are fine, so we'll fix next game. All right. Oh, sorry.
Look at NightEnd in the middle of the map. He's getting that charge for himself as well as the Templar Archives. It is exactly the same build he did against Thorazine. The problem is with just the 1 no-range Colossus and the very slow Templar Archives, not very slow, but the slower Templar Archives, because he did start off with Colossi. He doesn't have a lot of AoE to his disposal, and that means he's going to be facing 8 racks with like 1 Colossus.
And as long as he doesn't get supply blocked, which he was a little bit at 137, you know, that kind of hurts the whole plan of this
Right.
doesn't really make sense. Otherwise, why would you get so many barracks? So he's got to be careful about that. He's got to keep up 2 supply depots pretty much every time they finish. 2 more have to start. But what we're about to see is if that storm doesn't finish in time, and if ForGG moves across the map, which he probably should be wanting to do now,
You know what's scary about this, Apollo?
the NightEnd dies. What?
Even if Storm finishes, there's going to be Ghosts coming out.
But not yet,
that's
though.
the bone of this build. That's like cheating.
Not yet, though. There's
No,
only
not yet.
5 Marauders. But yeah, there will be. But this timing right now before Storm is done, it's a scary one.
Actually, his army in general is kind of weird. He like left his Vikings back. Okay, there they go. And I don't understand the temp. I actually just took for granted that I saw the Ghost Academy go down at a certain time. I was like, okay, well, certainly he'll make 2 Ghosts, even if they don't have Mobius Reactor. By the time they get to the other side of the map, they'll have the energy. No, he's got none.
Oh, this is going to be so sick. This army for 4GG is just so big.
Storm should be here. I mean, he's gonna use Force Fields to buy himself time.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Storm's not done.
Why did he let him up? Why did he let him up here? I don't understand. I mean, that's a big storm, but that's a whiff. He's just kind of dead.
There's 1 Storm left, I think, right? Yeah, 1 Storm.
Yeah, he's not dead. Never mind. I was too severe with that. That storm was connecting beautifully. I still don't like that he let him up, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though we're looking at NightEnd winning this fight, I feel like he should have force fielded him, let the stem wear down, and then ForGG probably comes forward anyways, then gets stormed.
And NightEnd is going to push us back. He has a Colossus behind there too, so there it is. It does come in there. It doesn't have Thermal Lance yet, but it's still going to offer a lot of DPS, and eventually these Marauders should fall down here with Zealots coming through.
There's the Ghost.
And now if we analyze this game correctly and say, well, 4GG built a lot of units, he sacrifices upgrades. Look, he's only just now got +1 armor on the way. NightEnd can take a massive lead with upgrades and continue to play this game out with a lead now because of the way 4GG neglected upgrades for units. The units didn't give him the fight win, which he wanted. Therefore, he's fallen behind in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's now facing this weird position where he's lost his Medivacs, he's lost his Vikings, and he's facing Colossus, excuse me. Which means he has to both make Medivacs and Vikings. It's a hard choice. You either make Medivacs and then run the risk of getting drowned in Colossus, or you make Vikings and run the risk of not being able to heal your massive Bio Ball. Ghost stepping forward, dropping some stims. I don't think they have... Do they have Mobius Reactor, actually?
I didn't see it being researched.
They do not.
I'd be surprised.
They do not.
They do not. So I'm surprised. Woo! Woo! That was my surprise noise.
Oh, okay. Archon's add a lot to this composition, by the way. You can see with the pre-EMP Bio Ball from the Terran, they have a very tough time absorbing that second tier of area of effect damage, but then also the tanking ability of the Archons is fantastic.
And because we see 4GG under so much pressure, he hasn't got the second engineering bay and he hasn't got the armory. So that upgrade disadvantage mentioned earlier is really being emphasized in this game.
And, I mean, NightEnd's not doing the most to capitalize on this. If we had a second forge, and if these forges were spinning continuously, that would be the worst thing in the world. But 4GG is getting a little bit of lady luck right now.
I don't know
now
where is the second engineering bay? Where is it? He's still not making it.
I just think he's kind of tunnel visioned on getting units out because he thinks he's about to die. And
Look
for a
how
while
many
there, he was right.
God.
I really thought that he was going to die at the gates of his own natural.
Yeah. He hasn't even got a factory. He's
Really?
quite far behind, yes. So he's actually miles behind. It was over there and it did die.
No Mobius Reactor. He's not making SCVs because, again, he's just pummeling out the units. So on the one hand, if you look at the income tab, it's 54 SCVs, and 1 have died. No, excuse me, 8 have died. So he's just very light on it.
He's got 20 supply more in the army. Here,
oh, those EMPs. You know what? Everything we just said doesn't matter. This angle was so bad for NightEnd. He's got 1 storm in there that's trying to come forward, and it does connect, so the Bioforce of the Terran player 4G is thinned out. Colossus in the back doing so much damage. There's no Vikings here, so while NightEnd was in a really tough spot, the 3rd and 4th Colossus step up and say, we will deal with this, excuse me. And I mean, look at how close this is. 3 Colossus and an Archon survived that, but guess what? 4GG, no more upgrades, no more engineering bays. I mean, this is like a functional 3 base all in. It really is.
And all that needs to be made is Zealots. Like the amount of Marauders he has, just mass Zealots. He's got a 2nd Forge now as well, so +3 armor's on the way. A 4th base has been able to survive here for NightEnd, so the longer this game goes on, the better he is. GG.
That's it.
Weird play for 4GG.
Very weird.
NightEnd picks up the win. So remember, we did mention before this series got underway is that the loser of this is out.
Yeah.
Every map loss hurts no matter what here. So if 4GG manages to turn this around and go 2-1 and win, his map score is going to hurt a lot going on to the potential tie draw, because there has to be a tie for somebody to grab that 3rd place spot.
Yeah, I was trying to check it. Sometimes, like Liquipedia, by the way, big shout out to them. They do such an amazing job. Sometimes they're so sharp that seconds after the game it updates, but then they also know exactly how many games it takes for someone to be eliminated. Not this time. They didn't quite hit their...
All right, guys, so we are actually going to take a quick commercial break while we fix the FPS problem which we had on that PC. When we return, so will map 2. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dreamhack ISO Open Winter Finals at Dreamhack Winter. It is time to get ready into map number 2. It looks like NightEnd, though, just before we get in, is taking a quick toilet break. Needs to compose himself in the bathroom, look at himself in the mirror and say, "You can do this," as he's currently 1-0 up against 4GG.
Yeah, he survived a scary timing. I mean, that 3 base, 8 barracks, forget everything else. No second engineering bay. I mean, just everything about it was pretty razor's edge. It had a really strong punch.
Yeah.
But NightEnd made the razor's edge decision to let him up the ramp just as Storm finishes. Literally, like the second Storm finish. It could not have been much later. And he landed really important storms, thinning out that force. But of course, with his slightly better upgrades, he was able to survive the engagement as well. And from that point forward, 4GG still had life, but it felt like he was either having a tough time answering the Colossus, or he was having a tough time getting out the Ghost for the Templar, and he could not answer both.
The next map is going to be Ohana. I think this is a pretty good map for 4GG, especially if he can scare NightEnd. But I say that, and NightEnd looked death in the eyes.
Yeah.
He is a vampire. He can do that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't scared.
No, not at all. I mean, 4GG, again, a terrifying opponent in this position. It's like 4GG at 1 and 3 is so strange to me. This guy, like you said, he took second place in one of these frickin' Dreamhacks. He's one of the original elephants. Everyone was talking about him when he was in GSL, kind of running amok. Of course, the glitz and glamour of him, I think, has kind of calmed down a little bit. People aren't quite referring to him in that way. It's more the Kespa players these days. But still, he is, like you said, he's a top-tier Grandmaster European, Korean in Europe player these days.
If NightEnd loses this, he goes 0-3. If 4GG loses this, he goes 1-4. Both are out if they lose. The winner of this, though, 4GG, if he wins, goes 2-3, which would still have to rely on Naniwa losing to NightEnd to go 2-3 himself.
Yeah.
So both of these players, I mean, ForGG has to rely on results. NightEnd can go 3-2 if he wins every game with good map score. So if NightEnd wants to advance, he actually needs to win every game from here on out.
Yep.
Still a possibility. ForGG needs to rely on results. Likewise does Rhett within that group, so...
It's so much better to control your own destiny. I mean, even if it's lofty, like having to 2-0 everyone, at least it's not like you have to 2-0 everyone and then also something else has to happen, and that's the worst situation for sure.
An update for you, Group 3 has finished. Monchi did claim that spot, as we thought would
did
happen.
He?
Yep.
Okay, and we're still waiting on Tasia Snoot, by which is 1-1, and that's...
Yeah, that's
this
Snoot's,
guy.
Snoot's bringing out the performances here, isn't
this
he?
guy.
And if he's able to beat Tasia, that's a pretty good result. Very good. It puts him at 2-0. And then he'd have to almost lose every game to go out. So Snoot's looking really good there.
And actually, the way Group 3 was decided, by the way, you had said that Monchi made it up. He made it up because Nurchio sealed the deal, but takes first in that group. So it's kind of a big deal. Actually, as I say that, no, Monchi still has to play Bishu, right? So I think he's sealed as green. Yeah, he has to play. Monchi could still take first.
Monchi can still take first.
Monchi could take first.
But Monchi, if he wins that, it'd be 4-1, and the...
He'd be 9-2
maps.
over 8-3.
His maps are good. Monchi can still take first place.
He needs a 2-0, though.
Big.
He drops one map.
Against Bishu.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, Bishu's eliminated, but you can... And it's not like when... people might misconstrue this, but as Bishu plays that match, it's... Even if you're good friends with Monchi, you still play as hard as you can, not because, like, out of spite, but because you owe it to the tournament, you owe it to the fans, and then you actually owe it to Monchi. You don't want Monchi to be like, well, maybe Monchi would. He'd be like, I'll take the free win, actually. Everybody else, though, wants the drama.
Top 8 is $3,700, man. 2-0 for that. Free win for that.
I misspoke. People would absolutely take a free win. It's like, if you want to go use the bathroom right now, or for the next half hour, that's totally fine.
And don't worry about the game. I would totally wait for you.
You're tired, and...
Hellspawn comes over, he's like, would you like a free win?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, I would love money.
Yes, please. Not a little bit either. You said $4,000, right?
Yes. $3,000, 756 something.
That's the finals for a lot of tournaments. It was only this year where StarCraft players became pretty spoiled, where it's like, it's only $17,000. Well, I guess I'll play.
Yeah.
Remember when MLG, like, Huck won one of the hardest MLGs, and his first place prize, 5Gs.
It's almost top 8 here.
Beating MC in the finals.
Almost top 8 here.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Insane.
Top heavy tournament here. First place is $37,000. It's a lot of money there.
Yep.
Spend it on pretty much anything. Depending on who won, though, they'd spend it on different things.
You could buy like 8 English Bulldogs with that.
Florzane would probably invest it.
Oh, yeah, and then every Korean gives it to their parents.
Stefano would spend it.
The business of being a Korean parent in esports is actually phenomenal if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
They are doing very well for themselves. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd actually encourage this next wave of baby generations have like 5 sons. 5 or 6 of them. Just throw them out in the esports world. Like, go forth, win your tournaments. Return to me with the winnings. They're British Korean, apparently.
Imagine if a parent took like 10%.
I don't know.
I brought you into this world.
I don't know. Yeah.
Imagine.
I always think it's nice to do nice thing for my parents with any kind of like esports money, but never crosses my mind to like give them control of all of it. I don't know. I'm 27 years old though. That's a little bit different, I suppose. I'm trying to think of Ness. Did Ness T give his parents his money at the ripe young age of like 28 or 29 or something?
No, are you kidding me? He spent it on soju and cigarettes.
Kept that for himself. All right, let's introduce these players. In the top left-hand side, the blue Protoss from Romania, Fanatics NightEnd. He is leading 1-0. Map is Ohana. Lower right-hand side, the Red Terran from Korea, living in France. It is Millennium's ForGG. Someone told me that Dragon went back to Korea, by the way, as a quick update. I do appreciate that, by the way. Anytime I misspeak, I encourage you to tweet at me. Let me know. I don't want to send misinformation.
He's at EG in control RC Intel Munster Kingston.
Oh, you booger butt. That is not who I am.
You can follow him on Twitter,
I couldn't put that many in there.
but if you could, you would.
Absolutely. Follow me at Twitter, and it just goes on for like 15 minutes. No. Keeping my name nice and compact. It's the very way I live my life. I try to stay as small as possible.
I loved your ID on Battle.net EU.
Which one?
EG Neutral. No.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't fit the eye.
Couldn't fit the eye because RC had to come in.
Yeah. Hey, man.
You sacrificed
sponsor-
a little bit of you for the sponsor.
Yeah. If a sponsor offered Dignitas a buttload of money to slide in there a couple of letters, you guys would gladly take it.
There's no I in EGRC.
That's true. That's my new mantra. You just did it. Thank you. That's what I'm gonna have to use that now.
That was good. Barracks Supply Depot is initially anticipated.
I'm just waiting to count the command centers.
Or the barracks. Either
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, he does either one.
You flip a coin and we'll count from that.
Yeah, scout out here with an SUV. Some Terran players skip that. We used to make fun of Show for doing that, but it turned out to be kind of a visionary that way.
Yes.
Remember that? How much crap that guy used to get? And I never scout. Like, why would I scout? What am I gonna do? I'm expanding. Ah, you
right.
idiot. And then all these Terran players after that were like, wait, he's got a point. Poor Show. Show's now playing LOL.
He's playing Diablo.
Do you think so? Not even LOL?
No, he plays Diablo.
Oh man,
Definitely.
that's terrible.
I see him logged in on Battle.net, and I'm like, oh, he's back playing StarCraft. Oh no, that's the Diablo sign.
Damn it.
And he tries to sell gold. Oh,
Dude,
gold
there's people that
mines.
make money off of that.
I think he's
So,
one of them, or tries to be.
Strife Crow, the former EG guy, when
Yep.
he moved on from EG, he also moved on from StarCraft 2. He now makes like $700 a week selling stuff in Diablo. I didn't know this existed, but apparently you can actually make a kind of living from that.
Yeah, it's like an eBay store or something on the
Yeah.
game. But there's the command centers coming down, as you mentioned. One hidden,
Just one for now. Oh no, never mind. Two.
One's going to be put down, one hidden.
I really want 4.
Mind Games coming in. Let's see if NightEnd can get into Scout. He's going to try the probe trick again. Oh,
Well, he's leading with the probe.
That was kind of
yeah,
silly.
Probe definitely gonna die that time.
That was okay.
Everything about that was
silly.
It's like the early stages of building Jurassic Park, where the Velociraptors tested the electric fence, finding out that it does in fact shock you.
If only I didn't have a sore throat, I would laugh hard.
I appreciate it. You just have to verbally recognize each time that was funny.
Okay. I'll just say
Idiot.
that from now on. Good one, Jeff.
So it is the same opening, by the way. I was he had 4 minerals, and I was like, oh no, do it. But then he added the barracks, so.
I wonder if we're
4GG,
going to see 8 barracks again.
he
Could
might
be
just do the
very
same
deadly
thing.
on this map, especially if you're dropping all over.
This map's actually better for that style, by the way, because with that heavy bioforce, you can apply pressure down below the natural, but then also the third, which is what. If NightEnd does the same build he did last time, he does the no-range Colossus, he likes to take a fast third with that. And I'll tell you what, the first 9 minutes of both these games is extremely boring because it's exactly the same. Exactly the same, even down to the gateway placement around that robo.
So let's look at fire instead.
Yeah, are we at the campfire?
Yeah.
Did you guys go camping? Did you Brits go camping?
Adabisa trying to copy me.
Oh, hey, no, it's 3 minutes. Oh, he's looking for the birds.
Yeah, I did that yesterday, man. You're not cool anymore.
He asked you to, though. That's like his thing.
It's actually Heaven
his
Dawn's
signature.
thing in BWC.
Oh, okay.
Because he did it first. And Adabisi was sitting there in awe on the toilet at BWC.
Who did that?
Heaven Dawn.
Heaven Dawn?
The Korean GSL Korean.
Yeah, the Korean
Observer.
GSL is Korean.
I got that backwards. The Korean observer for the. Oh, god damn it. The observer for the Korean stream.
StarTale Legends' signature move is being the best observer in esports, and then Adabisi's is looking at birds during the commentary.
Second tier.
Yep.
We have one forge and the one forge in the Robo Bay on the way. We'll see if he does get thermal lance. It seems pretty standard for NightEnd not to, as he goes one Colossus then straight over, but we'll see. Turret going down.
Everything's the same.
Observer spotted.
Kind of freaking out.
Oh.
That's a whiffed observer, by the way.
Oh dear. Well,
James Observer. James Bond Observer. Are you seeing this though? You're not like.
What?
It's the exact same. Everything.
Everything's the same, yeah. The observer's going to see the command center too. Oh, look at that. 2 scans to prevent the 3rd command set from being spotted. Gets spotted anyway.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Here's the difference. We're going up to 5 gateways? Question mark? No, that's the same.
Where's these extra barracks?
Yep,
there
there's
they
the
are.
4 extra barracks. What if this just played out exactly the same? What would we do?
What would I do? Move on to the next series.
Yeah, I guess we just kind of. Do you think do we have the technology to just play over our commentary from the first game right now?
No.
That'd be so sweet.
It's not there yet. But, Twilight Council on
You
the
just
way.
literally sit back and play the commentary from the first game.
Like, guys, did you load the last game from 10 minutes exactly and play it?
And
Just-
every time
just
we say
audio,
Daybreak, instead say Ohana.
though. Alright, so record this, Ohana, and then you record yours. Then they, like, take it from us and put it into the previous cast.
Ohana. Well, he's approaching the 3rd, which is really dangerous on this map. Ohana.
Oh my god, he's gonna win! Ohana.
Yeah. Here he goes. I love this from NightEnd 2. He's like, look, I made a Colossus. Come take a look at my Colossus.
Make sure to build
Because there's no pylon over here. This is not a real attack. Nothing.
But it could do damage
It's
still.
going to become a real attack.
Yeah.
He's going to accidentally win. No, the missile turret. How many times do you see a missile turret do battle with a Colossus? Look at that Colossus. It got missile turreted. Okay.
Well, I don't really know what to say right now.
I do. This was the dumbest thing in the universe. He's got no pylon, no warp prism. He just showed up with a no-range Colossus, like 5 Stalkers, 3 Sentries, and a Zealot, and is like, what if at 11 minutes he just made nothing? A missile turret took out half his army. I'm sorry.
Well, unfortunately, another NightEnd game that seems to be
We're going to see Game 3.
almost over before it even begins.
Yeah.
Is that force is pretty unstoppable. He's got no storm nowhere near close.
I feel like
Marines
that
have +1.
this game could have been played to the sound of that Benny Hill song or whatever it is. Or I can't do the sound. This is over. Charge lots getting evaporated. There's no Colossus here. Warping in directly on top of the
It's not
bio
the
ball.
medivacs though.
Yeah. And it's still over.
Wow. Well, that was a funny game. Well, I've definitely got a grin on my face after that one. But thinking about the next map,
This game. You know what?
that was a weird game. That was kind of kind of weird to cast. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit baffled.
If that game would have came directly off the heels of Bishu's series, that'd be hard to do.
Wow.
What?
What?
The build's terrible.
Well, yeah, that was kind of weird.
NightEnd is the weird part about this for me is NightEnd is 100 times better than that. That's the part that I have a tough time with. Like NightEnd went like, I do the same thing every game. Let's change it up. I'm gonna walk across the map with my fake army. No pylons, no warp prism, no real plan here.
and say,
I'm gonna go up the ramp.
and say, oh crap, there's a turret.
Yeah, he goes, oh crap, there's a turret, and that kind of took him a second to figure out. But then also he was like, you did make Marines and Marauders. Okay, well, okay, and then he lost. So I'm hoping for a higher, like in game 1, he played so much better. He played beautiful. He recognized that he was facing some kind of gigantic 8 racks timing. He pulled back to the last possible second,
Yeah.
and then he knew when to pour on the pressure. But also he had pylons on that half of the map, so he was warping in. It made sense. This did not make sense. This was like Lady Gaga at a PTA meeting. It didn't. It was so out of place. The Colossus there. It did not make any sense at all.
So if you were to close your eyes like this and be like, all right, I'm back in Phoenix. I've just woke up. It's 11 a.m. Probably for you, no, it's more like 8 a.m. So it's 8 a.m. I have a lesson at 8:30. I now just go, all right, it's 9:30. The lesson's over. I got 2 minutes to wrap up what I just taught my student, and that previous game he just played. What would you say?
Never attack without the ability to at least warp in on their half of the map or near your army. And if a missile turret's killing your one most important unit, you've probably done something tremendously stupid.
Is that what you'd say?
Yes.
All right, well, this is not Phoenix. It's not 8 a.m. That was not a lesson. So let's move on to the next map.
Yeah, we're just waiting for them to host. Oh, you guys host without me. You sons of a...
It
Yeah,
is going to be
that's
Cloud
right.
Kingdom. I think NightEnd's going to tighten up the bolts this time. It's a little bit loose. It's like when he made his first bed, he didn't quite tighten it hard enough because he's a nerd and doesn't quite have the muscles. And he got on the bed saying, let's test it, and it went... That's what that game was.
Yeah,
Like that?
I mean, it is.
It's like-
Here's the thing, okay, and joking aside, this is what literally happened, okay? I'm going to break this down.
All right.
Because NightEnd is not an idiot. This is exactly what he was thinking. When you make a no-range Colossus, the only reason you make that, if there's somebody out there that got this wrong, it's not actually to counter Marines. It's not where you're making it. You're making it because you want them to make Vikings, you want them to think you're going Colossus tech, then you want to show up with Templar tech. So... ForGG left him alone. He's like, you're on your half of the map. I'm over here making 8 barracks off of 3 base. Give me a minute. And NightEnd's like, well, I have to show him my no-range Colossus. So he walks across the map, notices that ForGG neglected all the towers, gets to the tower, and is like, is anyone home? And he's like, no. So then he walks up the ramp, sees nothing, and he's like, I guess I keep going deeper in here? Realizes the missile threat's killing his Colossus, starts to turn around, then the trap was sprung. And NightEnd had made a tremendous mistake. So it's not like he did this all terribly. It just ended up being executed terribly. The idea was there. It was a good idea.
Well, behind great ideas, there has to be a hard-working executionist.
Yeah.
It wasn't that time. But maybe there will be in game number 3. We are waiting for NightEnd, who surprisingly is watching the replay.
Is that what you were giggling about? You were kind of hiding that information from me? He's like, I see what I did wrong here. Yeah, the Colossus just kind of died to that missile turret. Yeah. And then he stimmed and ran down all my units. Okay. The other, I mean, joking aside, what he actually is seeing is he's like, wait, you did the exact same build as game number 1 as well. So the first 2 games of the series, exactly the same, except NightEnd in game number 2 lost his brain.
Are we going to see an exact repeat on Cloud Kingdom map number 3?
I think so.
You think exactly the same?
I really do.
All right.
I think. Well, guess what? How many games did we commentate of NightEnd's PvT so far? So it's been 4.
4 so far. Yeah, 4.
How many times did he do a different build? 0 times.
Yeah.
Be kind of weird if he broke it up right now, right?
That would be. That would break the pattern.
All right, let's introduce these players. It is game 3 of this best of 3, and both these players are fighting for their tournament life. In the lower left-hand side, from Romania, it is Fanatics NightEnd. Still some believers out there. We appreciate you guys. Top right-hand side, the Red Terran, tying it up in that last game. Millennium's ForGG.
Make some noise.
I want to clarify. Let's take a look at Wikipedia real quick, because I want to see.
What do you want to look at?
I'm waiting for, I think, with 1 game lost.
Oh, with Snoot and Tasia, you're looking for that, right?
Snoot did lose that.
Oh.
Snoot lost
Tasia
that one.
5-0, 10-2, Hero 5-0.
Team Liquid,
10-1.
man. Team Liquid tearing it up.
They are indeed. Tilo first
Oh,
place
look,
or
look.
second place.
We have yellow now. That means you're locked in at 2nd place. So Tilo is
Congratulations.
2nd place, locked in.
Congratulations, Team Liquid. A strong performance here. Imagine if Ret was to grab 3rd in Group 4.
All of them advance.
All of them advanced.
Sickest.
Very strong performance. EG only have 1 player, right?
2. Stefano and Thorzane.
Oh, yeah, Thorsten. Sorry.
Stefano's playing Snoot right now, by the way, so if you're a responsible esports person, you have both streams open right now, because that Stefano game.
And you'd obviously be listening to our cast.
Well,
Or watching
yeah,
maybe
I don't
Stefano.
understand why you would even consider otherwise.
I mean, Mr. Abid and Rotterdam are good,
But they cast every day during NESL, right?
how often do you...
In fairness, you should be listening to us because it's unique. This is the first time you and I have commentated.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you get to listen to EG in Controllo, you know?
Yeah.
Not very often.
Recent signee, E.G. Apollo.
Yeah.
We accepted that verbal contract you gave us yesterday, by the way. Appreciate that. Salary pending.
Alex Garfield received a text message saying, I recommend you check out this VOD at 2 hours and 42 minutes. And he saw it and was like, all right, I'm going to record that one.
There's like like little laws in Sweden. That'd be good, man.
And
you wouldn't mind it so much.
What, signing for EG?
Yeah.
No, I hate money.
Well, it's not just about the money. It's also the camaraderie, the friendship.
I didn't know that there was other perks
And
to being an EG.
the monster.
The
Thank you, sir.
I like it. The money. How do you say that? How do you say that drink? Say it again.
Monster.
Money.
Yeah, it starts the same way. I love that you hit on that stereotype though, because actually I read in a thread the other day when someone was like, "Oh, MMA signed with Acer," and they're like, "Good. He chose freedom and practice over money," and I was like, "Wow, that stereotype runs so deep."
That's right.
MMA comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm asking for $4,000," and everyone's like, "Oh, he chose something else than money."
That's right.
No, he likes money just like everybody else.
Joining EG is like watching Rocky 2.
Oh my God. He dies, he dies. Hey, look, it's the same build again.
No,
The
wait,
only
it's
reason
not,
I'm-
it's not Rocky 2, it's Rocky 3. Oh, I messed that up.
I don't know.
Oh, it's Rocky 3.
Is that the Rush
Yeah, no, it's the Mr. T.
one?
When Rocky all has money and stuff. And he loses his fight because he's playing show matches all the time like you guys.
Well, Apollo, we have a probe and a zealot coming across the map. Here's the thing. You and I can just talk about whatever the F we want in the next 5.5 minutes.
We gotta stop this.
And the reason we have to stop in 5.5 minutes is because that is the only fork in the road for the next 10 minutes where NightEnd either throws the game away with his entire army, or he holds back and perhaps wins the game after just barely getting a storm.
I wonder if NightEnd's gonna pick up on that ForGG is doing the same thing as well.
I mean, the weird part is it's to a T. NightEnd puts his gateways in the exact same place at the exact same time.
Well, that's
Like the
just
Dark
true.
Tower series from Stephen King. Everything that has happened will happen.
So, if
Okay.
NightEnd wants to win, what would you... Oh, of course, forgetting about Game 2,
Yep.
what would he need to do to beat ForGG?
Not attack. I think if
Okay.
4GG goes into that mega 3-base, I'm not really upgrading, here I come kind of thing, you just hold back.
Yeah.
Well-placed force fields, defended Colossus, and then well-placed storms really, really wreak havoc on a mass bio ball like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, 4GG won the first fight, quote-unquote. He didn't win the first fight, but his Vikings killed the Colossus, and then he immediately landed them. He killed one no-range Colossus and then landed his Vikings, and they all died instantly. I never like it when Terrans do that. If you land Vikings at like a naked mineral line, or it tips the scale in their favor and you win that fight, I like that, but to sacrifice them, I never like that. Ugh.
Factory and Engineering Bay coming down at the same time, as well as double gas from NightEnd, Single Forge and Robo Bay. Exactly the same.
Yes.
So I guess you were quite correct on the 5 minutes 30 seconds.
Yeah. I found myself very much so enjoying that you're breaking down the build, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys, unless you're just now tuning in, it's 100% the same. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, I'm not hating on the players. I know you're not. Like, like we were kind of talking about, Thorazane did the exact same thing. Took him to a victory over NightEnd and Naniwa. Doesn't get much better than that. Of course, Hero did exploit that, so I hope that Thorazane looks at that and sees room for improvement. But otherwise, we have a single engineering bay. He's moving out at exactly the same time. He's going to take his third behind it, and then he's going to add 4 barracks.
4 barracks. It's kind of weird because in the previous game I really wanted to see this 4 barracks take effect, and there it comes down again, because in game 1 it was interesting, but I wanted to see it on a smaller map, so
Yeah.
I would like to see it here. I mean, it's not as small as Ohana, but it's not as big as Daybreak.
Correct.
So we'll see how this is going to work, unless we see something like game 2, which I doubt was going to happen. Of course, remember the loser of this is out of the tournament. Great snipe there by 4GGs. He picks off that observer, preventing any more scatting, because now NightEnd doesn't actually know about the 8 barracks. He may want to guess, but of course you can't guess in StarCraft 2, so... I mean,
Well, you can,
but
you certainly can.
You can, but you can't.
I get what you're saying. I mean, there's always a risk to guessing, but
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the things that I like about tournaments that have such a awesome, I don't know, it adds such flavor to it versus just like ladder or mass gaming.
Yeah.
In ladders, each game is separate. Like, yeah, of course, maybe you remember something about your opponent, but who knows what their mindset is. I'm just practicing, I don't give a damn, I'm trolling, whatever. But in a tournament, when a player does one build, it's because that player is saying, they're not like pulling a double bluff or something like that. They're actually just saying, this is my best build. I think this style answers to the most things. And if you look at the style from ForGG, if you try to make Colossus against this, like if you go dedicated ranged Colossus, I feel like he just keeps making Vikings, and then once he cancels them out, which you cannot stop, by the way. Two-base Protoss cannot stop the Colossus from dying. His Bio Ball is so massive, under-upgraded, but still so massive that you just die. But because he goes fast Templar, I feel like that really is the answer to ForGG style.
Yeah, Storm is a great weapon. The Colossus was revealed without range again.
Yep.
Now the factory's going to confirm everything anyway. He'll get towards the Templar Archives eventually. Can't hold him alone.
I don't like this. He's just throwing these Vikings away. It is a no-range Colossus, so of course it's not the biggest of deals, but 2 Vikings are just so certainly going to die and not for their money. We do see the ForGG is moving out quite a bit earlier. This one no-range Colossus has baited 6 Vikings already.
Oh, there was a gap there. 2 gaps.
Yeah, and these force fields are getting wasted. I mean, NightEnd just might die from an A move here.
Oh, this is very tight. Storm still 50%. Oh dear. Oh dear.
No, the force fields are gone. He's dead.
8 barracks. Oh dear. This series has been a bit lackluster, to be honest. 94 army supply versus 40.
The worst thing that ForGG could do is move up this ramp. I don't understand that at all. He's like a pro pull away. Well, I think he still wins, but I just don't like the ramp move at all.
Well, Storm is done as the army dies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one bit of kite, and as you can see on the minimap, like a Zerg player, we have nothing but units streaming across with this 8 barracks. The natural Nexus falls, he weathers the storm one more time. The Vikings are landed, there's no Colossus coming whatsoever. And well, ForGG will pick up the victory here, keeping his tournament dreams alive. But on the other hand, the Romania NightEnd is 0-3 in his group and is out of Dreamhack win, so there's no way he can come back here. The supply, the economy, the army.
He can still have an effect. He's got a match against Rhett that's going to be really important. Rhett, of course, we're not entirely sure, but I don't know that he controls his own destiny, but certainly he needs to win against NightEnd 2-0. So, you know, NightEnd still has his ability to leave his mark on the tournament. That's an important thing.
Yeah, that's true. But day 2 of this tournament here, we're making our way through with this double-pronged attack as ForGG makes his way to victory. Killing off this Nexus again. The third one is down. It's 1 base versus 3. The Ghost Academy coming down just in case of Templar being a nuisance. Yeah.
Not enough. ForGG's actually retreating back into his base. He's going to
wait for Ghost.
He's going to muscle up and get Ghost, I suppose.
Yeah.
NightEnd, meanwhile, is mining off of just the 1 main Nexus, and I could not play better.
All right. GG. Never mind. NightEnd unfortunately drops out of the tournament. ForGG keeps his dreams alive to challenge Naniwa for that all-important 3rd place match.
Do you think he was missing words when he said I could not play better? Like he was trying to say I could have played better? Or
Yes.
I think so.
I think
it
so
wasn't
too.
a balanced complaint, right? He
No,
wasn't
no,
like,
no.
He wasn't like, I played perfectly. No way.
Wasn't like that.
Just making sure.
NightEnd's not that kind of guy. But that's it for us for now. Make sure to check over Stream 2 with Bitterdown for Stefano versus Snoot. It's currently still in Game 1, so do make sure to go check that out. And we'll be back with the next game when your screen tells you so, as you'll have it up on both screens. So guys, we'll be right back.